Hey everybody, thought I'd give you an update on how the garden and food forest is doing. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Got my nice sun hat on. Yeah, I'll start over at the chickens and work our way over to what's going on in the food forest. Okay, as you can see, chickens have finally totally destroyed the greenhouse frame that they used to perch on. So the ones that like to sleep outside just started roosting on the shed shack I built. But they're all doing good. No one went missing or anything like that. A lot of them are hanging out in the shed right now. Still didn't start building the coop yet, the new coop. These are one of the wins here. Got the potato plants are doing really good. Got a couple random kale in the front too. But as you can see, I put down a bunch of hay as mulch for any potatoes that might be popping up. This is doing all right. This is the garlic patch and a little strawberry patch. The problem is the younger chickens, there's like 4 of them that can still get outside the fence because they fit through the squares. They like to come in here and dig around, so these plants are doing pretty good considering that chickens come around every day or so and just scratch up everything. I have to come and perk some of the plants back up and cover the bald spots with more hay, but they're doing all right. I'm not going to be too mad. I'm not going to get more chickens next year, so I won't have to deal with any of that. Whatever garlic I get is fine with me. Compost pile doing good, still shrinking down. Had this thing going for about a year. Probably in the fall or so, I'm going to finally take it apart and see what's happening with the inside of it. Hopefully there's actually some finished compost for me to use. The other day I planted 4 more fruit trees along the fence line here. I got a double delight nectarine, which they call it that because the flowers are double petaled and the fruit's supposed to be pretty awesome. What else I got here? Sugar twist blueberry. That is a combo of a cherry and a plum. I think I got another one of those too. This is the sweet treat blueberry. One of them is supposed to be ready really early in the season, so that'll be good to have once those get going, some early fruit. And the 4th thing I planted was a splash pluot plum apricot hybrid that I believe that's the one that stays orange and it's supposed to have a grape flavor. Yeah, they all came with some leaves because I ordered them pretty late in the season. Those mostly fallen off, but I'm not too worried about it. I wasn't expecting much to begin with. So let's show the beds. The raised beds haven't been doing that great, honestly. I've been battling those fungus gnats and my treatment seemed to be working. The peppers bounced back. See, I'm getting some nice green color on some of those peppers. I'm also doing like a liquid fertilizer treatment to, if there's any like nitrogen problems, trying to combat if it's the fungus gnats or just some nitrogen deficiency of some sort. But some of them still yellow, some of them are a lot greener. I'm about to be giving them some more fertilizer in a bit. I started doing besides just a neem cake treatment, I started doing the mosquito bits, mosquito dunks. I added that to the water. I think I have a clip of that still, and I'll add to show you what I've been doing with that also in addition to the neem cake. Okay, besides that neem cake treatment I'm doing on my beds to try to get rid of the fungus gnats, I'm also going to be using these mosquito bits. It says on the back 4 tablespoons per gallon. Soak it in water for a half hour, then pour the water on the pot, whatever, garden bed. I had to go a lot bigger than that for all my garden beds, so I got it's a 7 cubic foot gorilla cart. Filled it up with water, most of the way. It's about 50 gallons of water for my calculations. I just dumped the whole bag in here. And I've been letting that soak for a few hours now, so beyond the 30 minutes. And my plan is to just... Also, I skimmed off a lot of the bits. You see there's still a bunch floating there. There's a lot more. Some of them sink to the bottom. Some of them float. The ones that were floating after a few hours, I've been skimming them off the top and just throwing them in the beds also. Just, I figured, hey, maybe if it rains, I'll add a little more of the... it's like a bacteria in the bits that attacks mosquito larvae and fungus gnat larvae apparently. So I'm just going to be filling these up and saturating my beds. I bought 2 big bags of the bits, so I'm going to do another treatment in like a couple weeks too. I'm still going to do the neem oil treatment or neem cake treatment, but I just need something to work because I'm definitely behind the ball. If you look in the distance there, my tomato plants are doing great, even though they're in the same soil. Everything in this bed, these raised beds, not doing that great though. It's got the yellowing going on, so I'm thinking it's the fungus gnats. I've also been treating with, I've been hitting them with some liquid fertilizer. It's like a kelp and fish emulsion of some sort. But these are doing good. A lot of the onions perked up. A lot of my second round of dragon tongue beans came up. They're looking pretty good. Not super dark green, but better than the first batch that came up. You see they're a lot more yellow. But even new growth is looking all right. I ended up buying some plants from a local nursery too, just to fill up the bed. I was having a little bit of casualties with the issues I've been having. But I got some more melons that I'm hoping to start trellising, and cucumbers. Nothing actually growing up there yet. As you can see, I also hung these solar LED Christmas lights along the front here. I'm just playing with that. See how that ends up looking at night. Carrots are doing all right. They're not getting super big or anything. And the nasturtium started putting out some flowers, which is nice. These cabbages and broccoli, I'm sure it's way too hot for them, but I'm just keeping them in there just to see what happens. Even if they go to flower, I'll just replant them once it starts getting colder out. I had some peas. They're super stalled out and way too hot for them, but these are some original cucumbers. They're bouncing back pretty nice. You can see the new growth looks a lot greener than the original leaves, so I'm thinking what I'm doing is having some effect. This is the first bed. You can see all these little mini bok choy went to flower. They just look nice, and the bees seem to like it, so I'm just gonna let those stay for now. I planted from the same local nursery a bunch of peppers in this first bed. Just a mix of like kind of like some semi-hots and some sweet peppers. And there's also a bunch of like different lettuce and greens. Imagine it's way too hot for that stuff now, but I'm gonna just let it be since I don't have anything else to put in there right now. I also have some cucumbers that are looking nice, waiting for those to start trellising. All right, on to the food forest here. A lot of the trees are doing really good. This is, I think, some type of like black currant or something. This was here originally when I moved. That's putting on a lot of berries. I ate them last year. They were super tart. I have a few grape plants going here actually along the back wall, but I've been busy, so I haven't actually gotten a proper trellis for them yet. But I have been trimming them a bit to the way I want them, even though I don't actually have them on the trellis and they're just on the ground. I have to pay some more attention to those. Looks like they're putting out little grapes, or at least flowers. I'm not expecting any grapes, but if anything happens, you can see it's actually starting to try to trellis up this Asian pear I have here. This is a pretty new planting also. This is right before I did the other 4. But this one sprang to life pretty quick. This is Rainier cherry tree. That one's doing really good. It's gotten a lot bigger. Of course, I'm gonna have to come back in here again. No flowering on any of my cherry trees this year, but that's fine. I think next year I'm gonna get some. But I'm gonna have to come back in there and trim it real good. This peach tree going pretty wild. Put out a lot of flowers and peaches for me. You can see I'm gonna have to trim that way back also in the fall. What I ended up doing is, you see these little bags? It's like little nylon mesh bags. I had to do that because the bugs or the birds were getting to my fruit, not on these peaches, but on my nectarine tree. I'll show you in the back there. Let's see, my globe artichoke, I'm actually getting some artichokes, it looks like, so I'm happy to see that. I think only one on this big plant, but whatever, I'll take it. It's looking a little thirsty. I might have to come out here and water everything. Look how massive these blackberries are getting, or at least the blackberry plants, not the berries themselves. But these 2 canes have shot up this year. That's like brand new growth, and they're like 8 feet tall or so. It's pretty wild. But it looks like I'm actually gonna be getting a good amount of blackberries this year. Sweetie pie blackberry. It's supposed to be, well, it's nice because it's thornless, but also it's supposed to be pretty sweet too, hence the name. And I guess those 2 big ones will be my growth for next year, but they look pretty wild. Over here, I got my strawberries. Those have been my actual first harvest. I have, oh, yeah, I had to net them because, of course, animals were getting to the ripe strawberries and all that. I could see maybe they were trying to get in there. Oh, they might have breached. But yesterday I got a whole, well, it was a small bowl, but I was pretty proud of it. They tasted good. I'm gonna come out here a little later and get another bowl if I can. It's annoying having to take off the black screen, but I'd rather do that than lose all my berries. New figs I planted are doing all right. This was a pomegranate bush that sprung back to life pretty good. This was a gooseberry, and I think I'm actually getting some berries this year already, so let's see what those are all about. There's one fig I got, I think it's a Chicago Hardy. It's just barely springing to life. Just got one little leaf at the end. I got that from a different person. Then I got the these other 3 big fig trees that are doing well. This is another tall sweetie pie blackberry. They get humongous. Let's see here. It's another cherry tree. It's like a dark cherry or a black cherry. Putting on a lot of new growth. No flowers, maybe next year. This is a Moore Park apricot. That's just a regular apricot. I got a bunch of like pluots and weird hybrids now, so I got some just plain plums and cherries and stuff like that also. This is an Asian pear. You can see I got some fruit on it. I had to do the whole bag route. It wasn't getting attacked really, but a little preemptive. Let's see. Oh, looks like I got a little globe on this one too. So that's cool. I'm not even gonna eat them. I'm gonna let them go to flower. This is my Italian plum is doing good. And now let's show some of the garden beds. In addition to the metal ones, I have these 4 wooden ones, mostly dedicated to tomatoes. These are the determinate varieties, so they're just gonna get to a certain height. I'm kind of bushy, that's why I only have 8 in here. because I wanted to give them plenty of space. I have to get some cages still. They're all doing pretty good, but they definitely need some support. In the corners I have some pumpkin and some squash, so I'm gonna just let like drape over the beds. And also around I put some flowers. This is, oh, nice. This is some borage. It actually looks like it's about to give me a ton of flowers, which will be cool. First time I'll ever see borage in real life. I think it's blue variety. These other two beds are my indeterminate, so they'll just keep growing and growing and growing until it freezes. I need to get some stakes ASAP. I use all the stakes I have in there, and I didn't make a better trellis system. I think I'm gonna go get some bamboo from someone, but they're starting to fall over because they're getting so tall now. And these will get up to like 12 feet, I think, if you let them. I'm gonna go more into how I prune them and everything in another video. Trying to do it as one stem, get rid of all the suckers, all that. In here I also have some flowers planted. Oh, nice. Borage is looking good. One lone pepper plant. I don't even remember what kind of pepper that is, but I had an extra pepper plant. These are my actual staked up tomatoes, except for two because I ran out of stakes. But they're doing really well. I have them crammed in here, but you see I'm pruning them pretty hard. Make sure a lot of light and airflow gets through. I'll do another video on that. But I'm getting some flowers, even I saw some fruit on a few of them. So that's cool. This bed is probably like one of the worst things. It's supposed to be a strawberry bed. I planted all these crowns and only one of them came to life. What a disappointment. I actually put some asparagus in the bottom too. You see one lone asparagus popped up. But yeah, that's all that's going on in here. I planted some flowers just a little while ago, but they got kind of eaten up, which I'm not too worried about. I'm gonna go get some new strawberries from someone on Facebook or something to plant in here, because my strawberries I have directly in the ground under the tree are doing great. Some variety, Old North Sea. I got them off of rareseeds.com. Small berries, but they're delicious, and there's a ton of them. Okay, let's see what else I got going on here. Pardon the mess, I got stuff all over the place. Another apple tree doing great. This one didn't put on too much fruit, but you can see apples are getting pretty big. Next year, I think I'm gonna just spray this, I think it's Cowlin clay that James Prigioni talks about. You just coat all the fruit with it and then the bugs can't get to it. I'm not sure if that really deters birds though, but bagging up all this fruit was a pain, honestly. This is one of my blueberries. I think I spotted a few blueberries somewhere. Maybe on the other bush, but I'm not expecting much. They're decent size, but they've only been in the ground for a year. This is my nectarine tree. It was loaded with fruit. I got a little lazy with it, and the bugs or birds just went to town. So I ended up bagging them up, but kind of a little too late. I could have had a lot more fruit. And even if you see on the ground here, I don't know if it's just bugs ripping at the bag, or I mean birds ripping at the bags or whatever, but even some of the bag fruit's just dropping. I don't think I'm tying the bags too tight. I was trying to be pretty gentle with it, but yeah, a lot of fruit went to waste on this tree. I'm just hoping to get a taste of a few nectarines so it wasn't a total waste, but if it was, learn for next year. But my apple trees are doing really solid, especially for like young plants. Got some more bagged up apples. If you notice too, maybe I'm having like a little bit of fungus issues here with some kind of like some rust spots on the few of the apple trees. I started spraying like a copper fungicide. Even this nectarine too is having some issues. You see some spots, and I think it had some leaf curl. That's a good example of it. It just kind of gets like this gross bubbling on the leaves. It seemed to drop most of them that were like that, and It's got a lot of like nice fresh growth on it, so I'm not too worried. I'm gonna just keep spraying the copper spray on it to try to combat it. This is another apple tree. This was Honeycrisp. It's got some rust spots, but I'm not too worried. Overall, it looks very healthy. A lot of fruit. Oh, this was a sad looking fruit that fell off right in the bag. Bags are hit and miss, first time trying them, but a lot of the fruit's staying good in there. It was 100 bags, so, and I used up all the bags, and a lot of the bags have more than one fruit in there. So if I got 100 pieces of fruit this year off my trees, I'd say that's a big win. Another apple tree. This one's a little scrawny, but has some fruit on it. You can see it bending. I'll let it go. And let me show you some of the trees that don't have any fruit or anything like that. These are pretty young. I just put these in the ground too this year. This is a Flavor King Pluot. I planted like 5 of these Pluot trees. I'm hoping they pay off. They sound really good when you read the descriptions about them. Flavor Supreme. Putting on a lot of nice growth. So far when I put trees in the ground the first year, I don't really do any trimming. I just let it do what it wants to do the first year. And then I go from there. This is another cherry tree. It's pretty young, but pretty good trunk on it. I don't know if I'll get any fruit next year off of that one, but I think my other 2 cherry trees should give me something. They're pretty big. This was it is a Galaxy Supreme peach tree. This one I did trim a lot. It was like a lot taller. I cut it down. That was the only one I trimmed right off the bat though. But maybe in a couple of years I'll get some fruit off of that. What was this? Bartlett pear. Don't think I'll get anything next year off of that, but there's a couple other pear trees. They're looking good. You can see I got another delivery of wood chips I gotta spread around. I'm gonna start by shoveling underneath the kids' playhouses because it's pretty annoying having to move those whenever I cut the grass. So I'm hoping if I just park them on top of some wood chips, I won't have to worry about that as much. What's this guy? Oh, down on the ground here. Flavor Grenade Pluot. Yeah, that started as basically nothing this year, and it's looking pretty solid. All right, that about wraps up the tour and update of my food forest and garden. I'm overall pretty happy with it. I have some things I could be doing better and some issues I need to overcome, but I have some wins too, so I'm pretty happy with it. Tomatoes are looking solid. Some of my strawberries are doing really good. The peppers are doing good. The apple trees. So just have some things I need to work on, and hopefully it just keeps getting better and better. If you have any suggestions, let me know what you think. But other than that, I'll give another tour soon enough. Hopefully it's looking even better. Thanks.